All right, folks, and remember the film The Magnificent Seven? 7 gunfighters ride into town to rescue the powerless and save the day. Well, Westminster's version of The Magnificent Seven looks very different. This time, it's 7 Labour MPs under the age of 30. A new generation of politicians who are starting their careers on salaries of around £94,000 a year. And one of them, Keir Mather, has now become Britain's youngest minister since 1834, earning nearly £119,000 a year at just 27 years old. But here's the twist. While the media hails him as a rising star, voters back home in Selby are fuming, and for good reason. Behind the historic title, the massive salary and the lightning-fast promotion is a man with very little life experience, no real-world career outside politics, and a growing reputation as a party loyalist rather than a representative of his constituents. Labour's new intake of MPs is being celebrated as a fresh wave of political talent. It includes Sam Carling, the youngest MP in Parliament at just 22 years old, Rosie Writing, who flipped Kettering red at 26, Jacob Collier, who represents Burton and Uttoxeter at 27, Nadia Whittam, also 27 from Nottingham East, Lloyd Hatton, 28, representing South Dorset, Luke Charters, 28 in York Outer, and finally Keir Mather, 27, the MP for Selby. Each of these young politicians begins their Westminster career with the same salary of £93,904 a year, a figure that already puts them in Britain's top 5% of earners, and in Keir Mather's case, that figure climbs even higher. Mather's rise has been nothing short of meteoric. After growing up in Hull, he attended Oxford University, where he studied history and politics and later completed a Master of Public Policy. He spent time working as a parliamentary researcher for Labour MP Wes Streeting and also held a brief post as a public affairs advisor at the Confederation of British Industry. In 2023, at just 25 years old, he was elected as MP for Selby after overturning a massive Conservative majority in a high-profile by-election. Within a year, he had already been promoted to Assistant Government Whip, bringing his salary to around £114,000. And now, following Keir Starmer's recent reshuffle, Mather has been made Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State for Transport, making him Britain's youngest minister in nearly 2 centuries. His new role carries a salary of just under £119,000 a year. The rise has been remarkable. But here's what stands out. Mather has no career outside politics, no private sector experience, and very little life experience beyond the world of party politics and Westminster. Yet, at 27, he now holds a ministerial brief responsible for major national transport decisions. Now, to Westminster insiders, this is a great story. A young man from Hull climbs from a state school to Oxford and into Parliament, smashing records as Britain's youngest minister since William Gladstone in 1834. It's a tale that ticks every box for political commentators: brains, ambition, and a rising star narrative. But voters see something different. They see a politician who has never worked in a regular job, who has never had to pay rent on an average salary, who has never run a business or led a team outside politics, and who has been elevated into a 6-figure role with extraordinary speed. The disconnect between that narrative and reality is clear in Selby, where local anger is boiling over. Residents have been outspoken about his promotion. One constituent wrote, "At what cost?" He votes against anything that would help the people of Selby, blocks anyone who disagrees, spineless and useless. Another said, "He's Starmer's perfect puppet, the perfect yes man for Westminster." Others were even more blunt, accusing him of ignoring correspondence, of refusing to reply to letters, and of putting party loyalty over representing his constituents. Some residents mocked his new title, pointing out that he is now the Transport Minister, despite, as one put it, not even knowing the 415 bus timetable. Another person wrote, if I were on £114,000 a year, I'd also send a few letters to bus companies and toe the party line. Not all comments are negative. Some constituents have defended Mather, arguing that he has done more than his Conservative predecessor, Nigel Adams, who was widely accused of ignoring the area. Others believe it is a good thing to see young blood and fresh ideas in government, but overall the dominant mood is frustration. For many in Selby, Keir Mather's rise feels like another example of a Westminster career politician climbing the ladder while leaving ordinary voters behind. One of Mather's colleagues offers an interesting contrast. Nadia Whittome, who also entered Parliament in her 20s, pledged to take home only £35,000 a year after tax, a figure close to the national average salary. She donates the rest of her pay to charities, food banks, refugee organisations and strike funds, and she publishes where every penny goes. Whether or not you agree with her politics, this kind of transparency stands out. It shows that MPs could choose to bridge the gap between Westminster and ordinary life, but most simply do not. This isn't just about Keir Mather or even Labour's young intake. It's about a system that rewards insiders and makes politics a lucrative career path. MPs are paid nearly £94,000 as a baseline before expenses, perks and pensions. Ministerial roles push salaries well into six figures, even for those in their 20s. The majority of new MPs today come from political staffer roles, think tanks or lobbying backgrounds. Many of them have never had a job outside politics. That reality creates a widening gap between the people making decisions and the communities they claim to represent. Voters increasingly see a Westminster bubble where politicians have little real-world experience, yet they control everything from energy bills to taxes to immigration. Selby is just a perfect example of this disconnect. In 2023, the constituency made headlines as a Labour success story, with Keir Mather overturning a huge Conservative majority. 2 years later, local forums and community groups are full of comments accusing him of blocking constituents, ignoring letters and voting in ways that harm farmers, pensioners and ordinary workers. Some voters openly say they will switch to Reform UK at the next election. Others describe Labour as out of touch and more interested in climbing the political ladder than representing people's concerns. Selby's anger is a microcosm of something bigger, a growing sense that neither of the major parties truly represents ordinary voters anymore. Keir Mather's story is extraordinary. He is Britain's youngest minister in nearly 200 years, earning almost £119,000 a year at just 27. He is bright, ambitious and politically savvy. But he has no career outside politics, very little life experience and a constituency that increasingly feels unheard. This isn't just about his age. It's about a deeper issue. Politics has become a conveyor belt, churning out career politicians who look great on paper but lack connection to the people they serve. The rise of Labour's so-called Magnificent Seven shows that Westminster is still rewarding party loyalty over life experience, speed over substance, and spin over authenticity. So, what do you think? Are these 7 young MPs proof that politics has become a fast track to money and power, or do they represent the change Britain has been waiting for? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit like if you found this video helpful, share it with your friends, and subscribe to TruthCast UK. Because if we don't hold politicians to account, no one else will. Stay safe, folks. Take care, and I'll catch you all on the next one.